Tonight, cleanup efforts still underway to remove dead fish across the Suncoast, which area beaches and waterways continue to see the effects of red tide.
Plus, new video of a shooting at a back-to-school festival that happened this weekend where more than 150 people were in attendance.
And how local law enforcement are paying tribute to a fallen officer in Fort Myers. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news at 6, cleanup crews are trying to keep up as dead fish are now starting to wash ashore beaches in Manatee County.
These are the same problems crews in Sarasota County have been dealing with: dead fish, a foul odor, and dark, murky water. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us live at one of the newly impacted areas on Anna Maria Island. And Erica, what are the effects like where you are?
Scott, Jacqueline, good evening. There's a foul odor throughout Anna Maria Island, and when the wind picks up like it's doing right now, that scent just grows even stronger. You can see all of these dead fish when walking along the waterfront and from the Cortez Bridge. You can hear the fish and the waves crash against the rocks. Now, the only sense that I'm not using is my touch, because we're going to leave that one up to the cleanup crews.
It was overpowering. It almost got me back in the car.
A strong odor coming from the Gulf. Thousands of dead fish floating along the shoreline, and brown, murky water keeping families away from Manatee's most popular beaches.
It's something definitely that we always have dealt with here, but it has definitely never been this extreme.
Florida Fish and Wildlife says background concentrations of red tide algae were found in Manatee County waters during its most recent tests Friday. The latest update of Mote Marine Laboratories' beach conditions report shows heavy amount of dead fish and moderate respiratory irritation at Manatee and Coquina beaches. Crews were out cleaning up dead sea life Monday along the beaches and bayfront, while locals like Marcelo Clavijo came out to watch in amazement.
It definitely went from a couple fish to a massive amount of fish.
Conditions are improving at some Sarasota County beaches. The water was clear of dead fish at Venice Beach as visitors packed the shoreline with their chairs and umbrellas. Sarasota County officials say no fish kills were reported on Siesta or Turtle Beach Monday, and is focusing its cleanup on South Lido Beach. Now, Manatee beaches are feeling the impact, causing some local restaurants to close up early. But the conditions aren't stopping some first-time visitors from enjoying their vacation.
Well, my wife, she likes the sun, so we're out here on the beach anyway.
Now, you can do your part to dispose of red tide waste. There are 6 specialty marked red tide waste trash cans throughout the city of Holmes Beach at those different beach access points. So if you see any dead fish or any red tide waste there and want to do your part, you can put those in those special trash cans. Just don't put them in any trash can on the beach. Reporting live at Coquina Beach, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you. And here's more information with what Erica was talking about. The city of Holmes Beach announcing we'll be placing dumpsters at beach access points. They'll be at 30th, 33rd, 36th, 46th, 67th, and 71st Streets. The dumpsters will be only for dead fish. They also suggest you don't throw any red tide waste into your regular garbage cans, which are not emptied as often. Also, volunteers are needed to help clean the beach. So to find out how you can help, go to our website, look for this story at mysuncoast.com.
Well, as of today, Mote says there are 137 sea turtles that have been rescued or recovered this year in Sarasota and Manatee counties. That's 37 more than all of last year. Researchers could not put an exact number on how many of those deaths were a proven result of red tide, but they did say that most of the 137 were dead rather than rescued. Now, 10 still remain at Mote Marine's Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital. When a turtle has been exposed to high levels of red tide, Mote says it will appear disoriented in the water, unable to swim properly, and could even drown.
Don't know statewide if it's been this bad. It's hard to say that ourselves. But we can say it's a pretty significant bloom for us in terms of the number of sea turtles that have been coming in.
Typically, nonprofit organization Save Our Seabirds also says it will receive birds that are dead or dazed from red tide. Fortunately, they have not yet received any reports.
ABC7 is covering the red tide bloom extensively. Log on to our website, mysuncoast.com, to see all of our coverage over the past several weeks and answers to maybe some of your most frequently asked questions about red tide.
Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast at this hour. Bob.
Yeah, I was out in that red tide Saturday driving through on the boat and through Manatee County and all the way up to State Road 64. You can see that watercolor change significantly. And now reports coming in from some of the captains there, Captain Scott Moore, suggesting that it is pretty heavy all the way to the north end of Anna Maria near Bean Point. Lots of dead fish showing up there as well. Terracea, there wasn't a problem, he said, but just to the west of that, quite a bit of red tide being reported there. And now quite a bit of rainfall into Manatee County near State Road 70 all the way up to 64 near Ellington. The sea breeze was kind of hanging right there, and really these storms have been flying up and developing offshore because that sea breeze never made it inland. Although Venice has had some rainfall earlier, Northport as well. That has since for the most part moved on, but this is the storm that's now generating lightning, and we thought that would happen because of that sea breeze kind of hanging right there and that east coast breeze meeting the two. This is typical of our afternoon thunderstorm pattern, but we're not seeing much going on because of the dry air in place. One or two lightning strikes already occurring now near Ellington and also right there near Waterleaf as well as Heritage Harbor. All the way down to Terra, some light rain falling now, and all of it moving off to the west-northwest. It's slowing down a bit because of that sea breeze, but we'll continue that general direction. That rain pretty heavy now in Port Harbor Parkway near I-75 near the interchange there of 275. So look out for that light rain, as I mentioned, as you spread southward. This should be over fairly quickly, though. We'll have much more on all that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Well, that was the sound of gunshots that rang out at a back-to-school festival on the east coast of Florida. A bystander carrying a gun shot back at the man who started opening fire at the event this past Saturday. Authorities are still not releasing the identity of the gunman, but they are saying that he got into a fist fight earlier in the day and then returned to the park with a gun. There were about 150 people at that event when the shooting started. The bystander is not facing any charges.
An update tonight on a Manatee County double murder. The accused killer is back on the Suncoast. Joe Clearjust was arrested in Denver just after the crime. 17-year-old is accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Caleb Bowman and 18-year-old Kamundri Pittman in July. Detectives believe the suspect knew the victims and the dispute was likely over drugs. Investigators say at least one of the shootings took place behind a shopping center along Cortez Road West in Bradenton.
A fallen Fort Myers police officer honored by several law enforcement today in Fort Myers. Investigators say Officer Adam Jobbers Miller was chasing Wisner Desmerit of Sarasota over a stolen cell phone. Video from the officer's body camera shows Desmerit appear to surrender, but then lunge at the officer, knocking him onto his back. Investigators say Desmerit then pulled the officer's gun from his belt and shot him. Desmerit now facing 9 charges and being held in jail without bond.
Venice police paying their respects to Jobbers Miller today by attending that funeral. They posted this photo onto their Facebook page. Venice PD, one of dozens of law enforcement agencies that came from around the state to attend the funeral. Venice police asking to keep the officer's family and the department in your prayers.
Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies mourning one of their own today. Retired mountain patrol horse known as Big Joe served in Sarasota for nearly 20 years. He worked primarily at SRQ. They posted these pictures onto their social media today, thanking that horse for his years of service.
Well, some Sarasota police officers say the current red tide bloom isn't affecting them at all.
To be honest, I haven't had any issues. Actually breathe quite normal. My eyes are fine.
Yeah, no itchy throat.
Anyhow, well, we're gonna get back to work.
But the reality is they're out there on the water getting the worst of it. And toward the end of the video, you can see they change here. The Marine Patrol officers take off their glasses and caps and replace them with those masks instead. Having a little fun with the red tide outbreak, but it does smell pretty bad if you're out there. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the Venice-Mayaca River Park is closed because of flooding. Why officials are warning homeowners who might live nearby to make an evacuation plan just in case.
Plus, why Florida's dropping ranks on the list of best states to retire. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique. So whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information, and be involved. Don't ignore the signs. Join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley, and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California closet story.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value and great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
The Venice-Mayaca River Park is closed tonight because of flooding. The gates to that park now closed and will stay that way until further notice. Here's a closer look at that flooding. The water is more than 7 feet deep in the rear area of the park next to the river, and some parts are beginning to overflow that normally are dry areas. Sarasota County says all entrances to the park will remain closed. And for locals who usually come here during the afternoon hours, flooding is something they're used to, but not anything like this.
Seeing them close the gate like that. So it must have been, the flooding must be very bad.
As of right now, there's no threat to the 2,000 homeowners who live around the park, but the county is asking them to be ready just in case the flooding gets worse. And we've got some rain around today, but not like we would see in a typical summer day, right?
One area there is, but most areas are dry, and it looks that's good news. The also good news is that all the rivers, I just checked the forecast on them, they're expected to go below flood stage by Wednesday, so Wednesday. And they're just a little bit above it at this point. We are looking at a nice Lakewood Ranch webcam today. This was at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and perfect sky there. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds coming in on an east wind. And then all of a sudden, a few showers popping up as the east coast breeze has made its way all the way over. And you can see that rain was heavy at times, now starting to clear a little bit there at Lakewood Ranch. And as I said, the storms should not be sticking around all that long. The west coast sea breeze never really penetrating that far inland. So the east coast just kind of worked its way all the way over with no convergence and didn't bring a lot of intense storms. And high pressure off the Carolina coast continues to bring us this easterly wind flow. And that will stick around for one more day. And then this high is going to get bumped down to the south again. That's been a familiar pattern all summer long with a west wind and a southwest wind throughout the bulk of the day. Looks like that will happen mainly on Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday should be in place now as a result of a front coming down in the southeast, which is also pretty unusual to see these cold fronts come down all the way down into the deep south this time of year. Well, there's that area I mentioned. The sea breeze never made it all the way into Venice. It's hung out right here. Notice how the east coast wind makes it all the way over. Then the storms start to explode right here offshore. Again, that's because of that stronger east wind. The west coast breeze never really getting that strong, but it is strong right now near Ellington, spreading into Palmetto and northwest Bradenton. Getting a pretty good downpour right now, although no lightning depicted here right now. That's going to change, I think, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, as that's where the breeze has been hanging out right there in northwest Bradenton. Rain will come to an end here near I-75 and it looks like State Road 64 in just a little bit. Ellington, heavy rain now near the mall there, stretching off to the west in the northwest Bradenton near 75th Street and all the way out to Cortez. Whitney Beach, pretty big storm there. Winds gusting too, pretty strong with this, up to 30 miles an hour at times with some of that wind. But mariners, beware, this is really an intense line of storms offshore and will continue to head off to the west. Quiet now in Northport. Had a little bit of light rain earlier. There are the flood watches and the flood warnings in effect now into DeSoto County and also into Hardy County and DeSoto County near Bowling Green. This is the Peace River, also the Peace River in DeSoto County. Just a little bit above flood stage, expected to go below it by, as I said, Wednesday and Thursday, and also the Mayaca River, the Manatee River, the Mayaca River there at the Mayaca State Park also causing some concerns, but that should go below flood stage here fairly soon. Dry air in place, the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We have a little low pressure in the upper levels moving off to the west right now. No danger of that developing into anything significant at this point. And the forecast, as we get rid of these storms here in the next half hour or so, we'll see partly cloudy skies, warm temperatures, 80 degrees. At 11 o'clock tonight. The forecast is then calling for similar conditions again tomorrow, so that high pressure will stay to the north of us and bring us that easterly wind with a few showers and storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening. Not a lot, not our typical pattern, but things start to change a little bit as we push into Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Now, as far as the current conditions go, it's warm, but it is cooled down now because of the rain near the airport. It was 94 degrees today. 94 was the high, just 1 degree shy of the record, 95. So things heating up with that east wind. As far as boating goes tomorrow, east winds at 10 knots. We'll start the day off. It'll switch around to 5 knots in the afternoon out of the west and a light chop on the bays and in the waters. A 7-day forecast then. Mainly a few showers in the late afternoon and evening. We start to transition on Wednesday. We could see some morning coastal showers on Thursday and Friday, and then the bulk of the rainfall will be in the afternoon in the interior portions of our viewing area. Highs right around 90 each day. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. 250,000 Floridians have already voted in the 2018 primary election, more than 3 weeks ahead of Election Day. As of Monday morning, numbers from the State Division of Elections show that more than 120,000 Republicans across the state had already turned in vote-by-mail ballots. Nearly 100,000 Democrats and 40,000 unaffiliated Floridians have also voted. Beyond absentee ballots, early voting begins next Monday in several Florida counties and by next weekend across the state.
The ballots have to be received by our office by election night, August 28th. That's 7 p.m. August 28th. If you do have a vote-by-mail ballot and you want to drop it off at one of our early voting sites, that's a possibility. You can certainly do that. You cannot bring them to the polling place, though, and drop them off.
To date, the highest number of vote-by-mail ballots have been turned in by citizens living in Hillsborough, Lee, and Pinellas counties.
New developments in the legal battle over medical marijuana in Florida. Attorney General Pam Bondi is arguing that smoking medical marijuana is not healthy and it should be banned in Florida. This would challenge a ruling made back in May by an appellate judge who says the smoking ban violates a constitutional amendment that broadly legalized medical marijuana. In a 57-page brief, Bondi argues that smoking marijuana is the opposite of good medicine.
Pinellas County will be fully reimbursed for damages caused by Hurricane Irma. FEMA will be paying out more than $5 million to the county for costs acquired from evacuating, patrolling, and traffic control. FEMA is working with several counties across the state that applied for federal assistance. However, not all of them are guaranteed full reimbursement.
A Jacksonville teen who says his parents kicked him out because he's gay will not be paying out of pocket to go to college this fall. Seth Owen got into Georgetown University but was having trouble coming up with the money to pay for tuition because they based his financial aid package on his parents' ability to pay. But he says his parents kicked him out in January.
I'm not ready to be on my own. And letting me walk out the door, they were saying, we don't care where you're staying, we don't care if you are safe. Our religious beliefs are more important.
Well, the 18-year-old took to crowdsourcing and raised more than $100,000 on GoFundMe. Georgetown got wind of the story and is now enrolling Owen in its scholarship program. He says he plans to use the GoFundMe money now to start a scholarship for LGBTQ students who are facing similar circumstances.
According to a new study, people are trading in warm beaches for chilly plains when it comes to retiring. The study by Bankrate ranked the top states for people to retire in, taking into consideration what people want. The survey looked at 7 factors, including cost of living, weather, and healthcare quality.
Where Florida gets dinged is, broadly speaking, the quality of health care. Its healthcare system broadly is not regarded as being terribly good.
Although Florida has traditionally been a popular destination for retirees, it did not top the list of this year's best places to retire. That honor goes to South Dakota, followed by some other cold weather locations, Utah, Idaho, and New Hampshire. New York checked in as one of the worst places to retire in.
I think a lot of people who live here would say that our health care around here is pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just other parts of Florida struggling a little bit with that.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. Stay with us.
When we come back, we'll show you how you can get into Northport's Mineral Springs for free.
This week, a critical moment in the Russia probe. With midterms bearing down, the special counsel looking to ask President Trump about obstruction of justice. And the Manafort trial continues. World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California closet's story.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Well, admission to Warm Mineral Springs Park in Northport is free this Saturday for Sarasota County residents. The park is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All you have to do is bring proof of residency. So if you've been wanting to go, now's the time to go.
Your bones are aching?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I was there once. It's pretty good. Yeah. You got to check it out. It's pretty nice. Plus, it's free. You can't beat that. Looking forward to some big storms right now to move offshore here pretty soon.
Okay. Have a good night.
World News Tonight with David Mears next.